If you wanted to enter the Second Temple in the first century, you climbed these stones. The southern steps, sometimes called the teaching steps, were laid as a part of Herod the Great's expansion of the temple complex. They rise in broad tiers toward two great openings in the southern wall, the double gate and the triple gate, remembered together in rabbinic sources as the Huldah gates. Though sealed today, their outlines still press through the masonry. Excavations along this southern slope uncovered not only a staircase and paving, but also dense clusters of mikvaot, ritual immersion pools where pilgrims washed before ascending to worship. Even the design of the steps teaches. The treads alternate in depth and height in an irregular rhythm that slows your pace and settles your attention. You don't sprint into the presence of God. You ascend deliberately, step by step, with prayer on your lips and the city rising around you. Now, set Luke's story on this ground. Pentecost, the Feast of Weeks, was one of Israel's greatest pilgrimage days. Jerusalem pulsed with visitors from across the Mediterranean world, and Luke's list reads like a map of the diaspora. Parthians, Medes, Egyptians, Romans, people who would have funneled into the temple courts by stairways just like this, many by this very stairwell. He tells us the disciples were all together in one place. When it happened, a sound like a mighty wind, the appearance of fire resting on them, and ordinary Galileans declaring the mighty works of God in the language of faraway homelands. Luke's word for house can mean a domestic home. It can also mean the temple complex, the house of the Lord. Wherever the first moments began, what followed was undoubtedly public. A crowd formed quickly. Thousands were within earshot. The southern steps make that scene plausible. On a festival morning, these terraces were a crossroads where voices gathered and news traveled with the speed of curiosity. Later that day, about 3,000 responded in faith and were baptized. Where could that have happened? This hillside is packed with mikvaot, ritual baths carved into the slope for pilgrims to immerse before going up to the temple. On Pentecost, basins of purification became pools of new beginning. The city's ordinary infrastructure for worship could handle an extraordinary work of God. The archaeology doesn't simply illustrate the text. It shows how the gospel takes hold of what already exists and repurposes it for grace. And this staircase, where accents have always mingled, is exactly the sort of place where good news made intelligible in many tongues would announce itself to every nation under heaven. None of this proves that every decisive moment of Acts 2 happened precisely on these steps. Luke gives no pin on a map, but the setting makes the story tangible and close. Pentecost unfolded in a real city, among real people, on familiar pathways and in familiar pools. That is not incidental, it's instructional. God met people where they already were and did something no one expected. The archaeology invites application. If Pentecost happened in public, perhaps our faith belongs in public too. As we open Acts 2, hold this place in your mind. Pentecost is not just a story about then and there. It is an invitation for the here and the now. To be attentive, available, and ready to speak of the one whose gospel is and always will be unstoppable.